Imagine a vacation specifically designed for your spiritual growth and enrichment, along with 5-star accommodations, beautiful scenery, historic sites, and a community of people committed to you having a once-in-a-lifetime experience. Join us this fall on a 15-day all-inclusive Mediterranean cruise with Pastor Alistair Begg and visit thrilling stops in Naples, Jerusalem, Rome, and more. It's the Footsteps of the Apostles Mediterranean Cruise. Come and experience sites like the Sistine Chapel, the historic Western Wall in Jerusalem, and the beauty of the Isle of Santorini, all during one trip with like-minded travelers. Register today to sail the pristine Mediterranean waters in luxurious accommodations and follow in the footsteps of the apostles to Athens and Ephesus. With special guests and resident teaching Pastor Alistair Begg, this cruise is sure to be inspiring and refreshing. The Footsteps of the Apostles Mediterranean Cruise is happening September 22nd to October 9th. To register, visit footstepsoftheapostles.com. That's footstepsoftheapostles.com.
You're listening to Just Ask Joyce on WFIA, The Spirit.
Thank you so much for joining us today. And we're just talking about dads. We're giving a tribute to good men today. And they are out there, guys. They're out there. And you need to call in 571-2428. We have Ruth, and Rita will be with you in just a moment. Ruth, thanks so much for calling in.
My father died when he was 53, and I was 17. And I was just getting to the point where I was looking at him as a person and not just my dad.
Aww.
And the things that I remember about him is he allowed you to learn. He wasn't a helicopter parent where he hovered over you and told you everything to do. I remember when I was 5, he and I were fishing together, and all of a sudden the fish hit the line, and it started to dip. And I remember saying, Daddy, the fish is trying to take the pole away from me. And he took it, and he set the hook, and he handed it back to me. Now, a lot of dads would take that and reel it in themselves and not allow their child to do that.
Mm-hmm.
The other thing I remember was when my brother went in the Navy, our first Christmas, we didn't want to be alone, so we went to Florida to visit friends. Well, on the way home, he let me drive through North Carolina. I had just gotten my license. Of course, you know, North Carolina mountain roads.
Oh, yes.
And my mother's he's in the back seat, and my mother's on the passenger side, and she's looking at the dip down, like we were going to roll off. And I was getting kind of close to the edge, but there was a semi that was coming the other way, and I was trying to move over because he was taking some of his lane out of my lane. My dad never said a word. And when we got to an exchange, I said, which way do we go? And he said, you tell me. Well, I took the wrong road, and we went to Raleigh, 50 miles out of the way, but he never said a word.
Wow.
But that taught me that I needed to rely on myself
That's right.
for driving and not him. And he also, when we traveled, when I was younger, before I got my license, he would let me read the map. And he'd say, okay, what route do we take? And I would tell him, and he'd say, and I said, well, this one might be better. Well, you tell me, which route do we take?
I love that. But he did allow you to learn. He allowed you to explore. He allowed you, that, and he taught you responsibility too, because there it was. The decision was in your hand, and whoa, but a wrong turn. But he had so much patience, Ruth. That's amazing.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
I love that.
And I'll have to tell you a funny story on my brother. We had a summer camp on a lake, and my brother was supposed to be in at midnight. And so he would come in, and he'd come through the door, and it was 10 steps forward, 8 steps to the right, 10 to the left, and then left into the bedroom. Well, my dad had a great sense of humor, so this one night, he knew what he was doing. He put a metal trash can, right in the way. And when he hit that trash can, it went flying across the living room, and they knew what time he came in that night.
Oh, yes, I'm sure. You can't outsmart many parents anyway. That's good. That's great. I just love that. But you know, I'm sorry he demised so early, because I'm sure he taught you many valuable lessons and probably had a wealth of them left to teach you. But love the fact that you're hanging on to them even today. God bless you. I love that, Ruth.
Thanks, Joyce.
Thank
Take
you.
care.
All right. Don't you just love that? I mean, a patient dad, a really patient dad. Rita, thank you for calling in.
Hi, Joyce. How are you today?
I'm great. How about you, sweetie?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm going to call you and talk to you about my husband.
All right.
My husband took on my two children when they were 13 and 15, which are very, very difficult ages.
Mm-hmm.
And he took them on when he had two children that were 10 and 8. And he is such a wonderful, wonderful man.
Aww.
And we went back to see his children every time, and we brought them home with us when we could, and we kept them together and, you know, went back and forth all the time, and he maintained a relationship with them while maintaining a relationship with my children, to the point that my son wanted to change his name to my husband's last name.
Wow. That speaks volumes of your husband.
Well, that's what I told him. I said, do you know how much of a compliment that is? That
God bless you, Rita. I'm sorry, we're signing off this hour, but listen,
okay.
Call back at the 4 o'clock hour, because we're going to be going in very soon to that, and let's talk more about him. I love this conversation. Guys, stick around for the 4 o'clock. In the meantime, I'm in battle for his cause.
The Spirit, 94.7 WFIA FM New Albany, Louisville, is a service of Salem Media Group, online at WFIAFM.com.
Your news this hour from townhall.com. I'm Val Dior. President Obama is meeting with survivors of the Orlando nightclub shooting and the families of the victims in downtown Orlando, arriving this afternoon at the Amway Center where the Orlando Magic play.
The president believes that there's no more tangible way to show support than by traveling to the city where this horrific incident occurred. He'll be standing with the citizens of Orlando during this difficult time.
Eric Schultz, Deputy White House Press Secretary, Vice President Joe Biden tagging along before sitting down with families and survivors. Obama and Biden both met with law enforcement officials to thank first responders. An Egyptian investigator says the cockpit voice recorder of Egypt Air Flight 804 has been found and pulled out of the Mediterranean Sea.
The cause of the plane's crash is still not known. It's only known that there was smoke alarms that went off inside the plane shortly before it went down. Whether that's from some sort of malfunction or attack is not known. So analyzing the voice and data recorders will be vital to knowing what brought the plane down.
The plane disappeared from radar on May 19th with 66 on board. The fierce campaign over whether Britain should leave the European Union is at a standstill today following the shooting death of a British lawmaker. Jo Cox was attacked in the district she represented in northern England.
There is a large and significant crime scene, and then there is a large police presence in the area. A full investigation is underway to establish the motive for this attack.
Police have arrested a 52-year-old man. Philadelphia today has become the first major U.S. city with a soda tax. Despite a massive beverage industry campaign opposing it, the city council voted 13-4 in favor of that soda tax. Hillary Clinton has won the endorsement of the AFL-CIO. It is the nation's largest labor federation. The General Board voted to endorse Clinton over Bernie Sanders, a move that had been expected since Clinton is the presumptive Democratic nominee. Townhall.com.
WFIA, The Spirit.
Thank you so much for joining the 3 o'clock edition of Just Ask Joyce. Father's Day is this weekend, and I know that you have a father that you might appreciate and you need to honor today. This is a show where we're going to open it up for you and let you call in with some special memory, some special praise, some special adoration for your dad. I know some of us weren't that fortunate to have a dad who really made an impact in our lives. Not in a positive way, but many of you listening have. And you should be thankful for that. And so it's so easy to have accolades and to voice those accolades from Mom, but we don't always step up to the plate for our dads, do we? Well, today we're going to. So you get ready to call 571-2428, 571-CHAT. It's brought to you by Roberts CPA Group. So you just sit back and enjoy Father's Day message.
Let's face it, the college search process is confusing. I wanted a small university where I could live on campus and enjoy the city. When I visited Spalding, I knew it was right for me. They helped me figure it all out, even helped me with financial aid and scholarships. Now I'm here, living on campus, have a great group of friends, professors who care, and I'm part of a community that wants me to succeed. I know Spalding is right for me. Check us out. We might be right for you, too.
The LA Times says Kentucky Kingdom's newest coaster, Storm Chaser, is a contender for the best coaster of the year, and USA Today calls it one of the most anticipated coasters of the year. Let's hear what the theme park engineering and design students from Purdue University have to say.
I'm so out of breath right now.
Fantastic. I'm giving 12 out of 10. 10. Fantastic.
Unbelievable. Incredible. It was so good. That first drop is amazing.
Storm Chaser, only at Kentucky Kingdom and Hurricane Bay. KentuckyKingdom.com for special offers.
I'm Nick Soboleski, a Select Quote agent with a true story that could save you hundreds of dollars a year. A woman named Linda just called. Her husband, Ray, has a $300,000 group life insurance policy, but is changing jobs and can't take it with him. Well, I impartially shopped the highly rated term life insurance companies we represent and found Ray, who is 41 and takes medication to control his cholesterol, a 10-year, $500,000 policy for under $26 a month. That's almost twice the coverage for less than half of what he had paid. If SelectQuote hasn't shopped for your life insurance, you're probably paying too much.
For your free quote, call 1-800-423-4557. That's 1-800-423-4557. 1-800-423-4557. Or go to SelectQuote.com. We shop. You save. Get full details on the example policy at SelectQuote.com/commercials. Your price can vary depending on your health, issuing company, and other factors not available in all states.
Here's today's Bible Minute with David Chadwick.
James 2:5 reads, "Listen, my dear brothers, has not God chosen those who are poor in the eyes of the world to be rich in faith and to inherit the kingdom he promised those who love him?" Dear friends, we have a responsibility as Christians to proclaim the gospel throughout all the world, but we should never, ever separate our proclamation of the gospel from our demonstration of acts of kindness and mercy to the poor. They are two wings on the same airplane. Both of them are needed for the airplane to fly. Yes, proclaim the